what's happening YouTube? Welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video today. So, we're coming in close to spring. Spring is one of those transition seasons. Obviously, it's right in between winter and summer. So, especially if you live in the Northeast, you kind of get a mix of both types of weather. Still some cool weather, cold weather. Like, for example, this morning, it snowed, it flurried for a little bit, and then it stopped, and now it's just kind of windy. And then once you get deeper into March, it's beginning of April, the weather starts to warm up. So what I got for you guys today is a list of 10 fragrances that I think will kind of bridge the gap between winter and summer, being perfect for spring season. They kind of, hook their claws into both seasons, making them excellent transition fragrances for the spring. So we're going to get started here. Again, I got 10 fragrances. And as always, if you're new to the channel or a fan of the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do so. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel. And if you have an Instagram, go ahead and check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, and of course, photos of fragrances from my collection. So let's take a look at the 10 fragrances for spring that I picked. All right, guys, so the first fragrance on this list is from 1968 from the house of Antonio Puig. It is Agua Brava. So this is classified as a Chypre fragrance, and this one, as many of these fragrances do on this list, does a good job of mixing in some spicy, woody notes along with some citrus freshness too. So when you spray this one on, of course, it's got the typical Antonio Puig, really wide sprayer that does not go direct out. It just goes wide. It's so bad, but, it's really cheap. You smell some citrus, and then you get spice and pine scent. It's green enough, but it's also, uplifting enough that it's a perfect fragrance for spring. It's masculine, it's inexpensive, and I believe they do have aftershaves and some other products. All I have, though, is this fragrance. I've got this a little while back. I haven't worn it much because I much prefer Acqua di Selva. I was going to include Acqua di Selva, but I decided to show some love to Agua Brava. So, again, if you had to pick one, always go Acqua di Selva, but this is also a really good choice if you want an inexpensive, masculine, clean green fragrance, and you like that, spicy Chypre. This is a perfect choice, which makes it a great spring scent. That's Agua Brava by Antonio Puig. All right, guys, the next fragrance number 2 on this list is from the Italian house of Cerruti. It is none other than 1881 by Cerruti. So this fragrance came out in 1990. It's classified as an aromatic fougere, and it's just a classic barbershop Italian masculine scent. So, when I smell this one, this is one of the times where I'm like, wow, I've smelled this my whole life, had no idea it was Cerruti until I owned this fragrance too. So you spray it on, it's just got this amazing wet, grassy, green spring rain smell. Like it smells almost as if you had just walked outside after a nice rain in the spring and the sun comes out and it's bright and you get the wet grass scent. It's awesome, and it's got pine, it's got oak moss, but it's not too heavy. It's light enough to where it's going to, again, bridge the gap between the cooler weather, which you can wear this in, and a little bit weather that warms up. I think this is an awesome spring scent. It's not expensive by any means. Again, it's masculine and really cool bottle too. They got attention to detail, frosted glass there. This one, I do have the aftershave. I haven't been able to track down any other product that's kind of scarce, but this one smells so good and just an easy reach for the springtime and an awesome buy. If you don't have it, absolutely check it out. It's a very Italian barbershop scent, like I mentioned. So if you like that, this is perfect. And again, perfect for the springtime weather. All right, so the third fragrance on this list is from the Italian niche house of Acqua di Parma. Came out in 2007. It is Acqua di Parma Colonia Intensa. So this one is a flanker of the original Acqua di Parma Colonia, which is the best from the Colonia line. There's no question. But this one is also pretty good too. So this one opens up with the citrus burst. You get a lot of orange in there, and then when it dries down, to me it becomes like a very light leathery scent. And those two note combinations of citrus and then kind of a leather woody note, that really, I think, makes a perfect transition scent for springtime. It's light enough to not be a super cold weather fragrance, but that leather note drives home the fact that you could wear this pretty much from the beginning of spring all the way. And if you wanted to wear it in summer, you could. Pretty much any of the ones I've talked about you could wear in summer, but I think they're better suited for the springtime if I was going to make a specific list just like this for springtime. And Acqua di Parma Colonia, a little bit more on the Intensa, a little bit more on the expensive side, but still really nice. This is just a 50 ml bottle. My older sister got this for me a while ago. I've used about half of it. I tend to gravitate towards the original one. But there are some other flankers that are a lot lighter and, more summertime, but this one's got that leathery dry down, which I really like, and I think it's a perfect spring scent. I think you can have these, at least the 50 ml, they're probably around $80, maybe 80 to 100. The bigger bottles are going to be over $100 for sure. But you can always get them on discounters. But this one, very masculine, very, very clean. I love that orange and citrus lemon note, but the leather is the best part about this, and that's in the dry down. All right, fragrance number 4 on my 10 spring fragrance for men list is from the house of Roberto Capucci from 1967. It is Capucci Pour Homme. So this is another classic Italian citrus forward fragrance that has a leathery dry down, but this one has some notes of tobacco. It's a little similar to Acqua di Parma Colonia Intensa, but I think this one adds a lot of mossiness to it in the dry down too, because there's definitely oak moss in this fragrance, and this is a vintage bottle, but I believe you can still get this. This is not as hard to track down. That opening though is distinct. It has a Malfite lemon, so it's a sharp citrus, and then it dries down to some herbal notes with, I would say, that oak moss, leather, and there's tobacco in this too, and you kind of get that at the very tail end. This lasts, I would say, performance-wise, is like a 5-6 hour fragrance for me, but it's very uplifting, and I really enjoy this one, and I think this is best suited for springtime. In the summertime, the high heat, the mossy notes, the leather and tobacco on this one may be a little bit much. Some people swore this was a summer scent, but to me, I think this is best for the springtime because once again, it's going to be that perfect transition. So it's very Italian, very masculine scent, and it's perfect springtime fragrance. All right, so the 5th fragrance on this list, this is a rare one. I want to go ahead and thank my friend Al. Al hooked me up with this bottle. He sent it to me. He was telling me about the house. The house is Klaus Porto. So this is a limited edition fragrance. They only came out with so many. He purchased it for himself. It's an expensive niche, but he wasn't a fan of it, and he sent it to me, and I actually really like it. And the fragrance is called Le Parfum by Klaus Porto. So, again, thank you, Al, for sending to me this. I really appreciate it. This is bottle number 465 of 1,887. So apparently they only made 1,887 of these bottles, and I have one of them. So very fortunate in that regard. And the fragrance itself is simple. It's 4 notes. You got fig leaf, woody notes, citrus, and watermelon. And I saw the watermelon, and at first when I was reading about it, I was like, maybe I might agree with Al. I might not like this one. And then I sprayed this stuff, and this is like, it's the craziest scent. It smells awesome, like a smoky green scent. Like, ever been like a kid and you set on fire like a green leaf that you pulled off the tree, not like a dead brown leaf, but like you smell the scent of burning alive branches. Like, that's what you get. Like, it's green, but it's smoky, and it has that like grassy smoke, like if it were green grass setting on fire. That's what this smells like to me. Like, I don't get the watermelon, but I do get the fig, and I do get the woody notes and a bit of the citrus. And this is a perfect spring scent. This has that like after rain feeling. I really enjoy this one, and I'll probably never have another bottle of it again, so I'll use it sparingly because it's very nice, and I know it's expensive. And this is very different from the fragrances that I review on my channel, which is why it's kind of special too. So Le Parfum by Klaus Porto. Let me know what you think of this one if you know about it. All right, fragrance number 6 is from the house of Lacoste from the year 1984. You know it's Lacoste by Lacoste. So this is the Green Machine, the Incredible Hulk. Let's get a tester strip here. Oh man, this is such a sharp citrus oak mossy fragrance. It's perfect for the springtime. The one that I talked about in my sport fragrance, Forgotten Fragrance Edition, Eau de Sport, Lacoste Eau de Sport, that's better for the summer. This one though is the perfect springtime scent. It's sharp, it's green, it's mossy, it's masculine. It's definitely a scent that you can go out in public and not worry about it being overbearing, but it's still going to be fresh and light. It's got the heaviness, but it's not to the point where it would offend anybody. It's a sharp opening. Maybe you spray it and you wait 20-30 minutes before you go out, but after that, once it's dried down on you, it's just a beautiful fragrance. I love this one. It's so masculine. The bottle's so 80s. I just really enjoy smelling this one. It performs okay. It's not super beast mode, which is nice, but who cares? You can always just reapply it, and this is a great spring scent. This would be one you could wear at office. This is daytime. I would imagine daytime. A lot of the spring fragrances, fresher fragrances are, but this is a perfect fragrance for springtime for sure. All right, guys, fragrance number 7 on my spring fragrance list is from the House of Creed. It's classified as an Oriental Woody. It is 1987 release Bois de Portugal, or Trees of Portugal. This is just on a whole other level. By far my favorite Creed fragrance. You know, I like Ventus, you know, that's a great fragrance, definitely like a landmark fragrance, but it's got nothing on this. This is a high-end, gentleman, very, you know, classy fragrance. When you spray this, the opening, I sprayed some on a test strip. I'll do it one more time here. The name is so fitting, you know, Trees or Bois de Portugal. This, like, picture yourself on a coast on a windy spring day in Portugal, and the air is blowing through the trees, and you get the fresh green with a slight sweetness in there. This is, the opening is absolutely beautiful. It paints the picture of the title of the fragrance. And it's just, it's amazing. It lasts forever on my skin, especially on clothing. This was my scent of the day yesterday. I woke up, I still smelled it on myself. And I've had issues with Creed fragrances performance not being that great, but this one is a banger. And it's like a high-end barbershop fragrance, gentlemanly fragrance, classy fragrance. This is by far the best Creed in my opinion, but the title is perfect. And that image that I said, you know, about the trees and the wind on a coast in Portugal, it's dead on. This is an amazing fragrance, perfect for the spring. It's heavy enough that it'll stick with you if it's cooler, but it's light enough to where it's not going to be like an overbearing, like winter oud or dark, really dark fragrance, like a Jacques Bogart or something like that. This one is just perfect for the springtime, and by far my favorite Creed fragrance, and it's Bois de Portugal. All right, fragrance number 8 on this list is from the House of Guerlain. It is Vetiver. So this fragrance, woody aromatic, it's so clean. It's like the perfect office scent, the ultimate vetiver scent, hence the name. You know, it's got a distinct greenness where it doesn't go too green, it doesn't get too mossy, and that vetiver just gives it that clean feeling scent. It's just gives it a wet grass scent. This one is awesome. I need to wear it more. You know, my father purchased this one. He loves this fragrance. Like, he's killed this bottle in under a year. I gave him Tom Ford Grey Vetiver, and from what I hear, he likes this one more. So I have to either, you know, get him another bottle soon. So, you know, this one's really grown on me. It lasts a long time on clothing. But, you know, you never have to worry about wearing this one. You know, indoors in a controlled environment, you could wear this all year round probably. But I would say if you're outdoors a lot, like thinking of spring, this just gives me an image of spring, like that wet, the grassiness, the greenness, but also the freshness of things, you know, coming alive, growing again. Vetiver by Guerlain is a perfect spring scent, and you know, it's also masculine, it's classy, it's not, you know, over the top. It performs just enough, I think, to get you through a day, and it's not expensive at all. I think this is like a $30, $40 bottle, and this is a large bottle too. This is a 6 ounce, but you know, the smaller ones you can have for under $30. So this is a perfect choice, great price, great fragrance, and great for spring. All right, so the 9th fragrance on this list is from the House of Azzaro. This is Azzaro Pour Homme L'Eau. So this is a 2011 flanker of the original Azzaro Pour Homme. And as you guys know, if you've seen my review of Azzaro Pour Homme, it took me a while to appreciate that one. And now I do really appreciate it. I love it. I love the sharp anise opening. So this one is a hidden gem in its flankers. Azzaro Pour Homme has a lot of flankers. The ginger and the you know, the wild mint. I would probably never buy any of those. They look awful. And you know, the reviews I've seen where people are all about them, I just don't buy it. But this one is really nice, and this one is perfect for the, I would say, maybe the tail end of spring into summertime. But I think the dry down really gives it the perfect fragrance for spring type of vibe to it. So, you know, you spray this on, and it opens with like this citrus, yuzu, and lemon. And then, you know, once those notes fade away, it's like just a tad lighter than the original Azzaro Pour Homme dry down. So it's masculine, and it's got a perfect combo of like the great zestiness in the opening, but then the masculine dry down of Azzaro Pour Homme, and you still get a bit of anise in there from what I understand. I'm not sure if that's a note or not, but that's what I pick up on. It's the only flanker I own and the only flanker I want to own for the original Azzaro Pour Homme. This one is awesome. You can still get this. I think FragranceNet and Fragrance X, both have this available. eBay has it available. I think the bottles are, for the large bottle, I've seen it on eBay for $23 from a reputable seller, one I've bought from multiple times. This is an awesome warmer weather fragrance as you're getting into the warmer weather, and I think it transitions again because it's got that bright opening, and then it dries down to that classic masculine barbershop Azara Pour Homme, legendary dry down that everybody loves. That, admittedly took me a while to get into, but now that I do enjoy it, I really appreciate it, and that's what makes this flanker so much better in my opinion, and that's why I absolutely had to include it in this list. Again, thank you to the subscriber. I believe it's K Hayes. He's the one that told me about this, and I got it and featured it in my fragrance haul video I did a while back, but now it's time to really break it out, and I'm excited to wear it for the spring. All right, guys, the final fragrance on this list, I saved the best for last from the house of Hugo Boss, the 1987 Aromatic Fougere release, Boss Sport. So this is one of the most rare fragrances in my collection. It's my scent of the day, so I'll spray some on. It's one of the most unique fragrances in my collection. It's just awesome. It was like an instantaneous wow as soon as I smelled this one. So you spray it on, and the opening is a fresh, green, bright scent that then dries down to a mossy, soapy balm. It's so good. It's the most unique dry down I think I've ever smelled, especially from a Hugo Boss fragrance, but amongst many scents in my collection. And it really is just of the era. It's so classic 80s. It's hysterical. It's kind of got the dry down. It gives it kind of a dirty, muskiness, whereas the opening is very bright. Again, that makes the perfect transition, from cool weather into really hot weather. And this one will fall right in the middle, making it perfect for spring. Look at the box. Even the box, it's got the tennis rackets here. So it gives off that active guy, that active 80s guy, but it also has the same time the hairy-chested gold chain. This stuff is awesome, and I'm so happy to have it. I don't have any other products. I had to look for it on eBay, so I would suggest at least sampling the product. McBag, I get all my classic samples from him. You can check him out via Instagram or eBay, or message him because he does have samples of this, because that's how I got it. Got a sample, smelled it, sprayed it. Wow, immediately grabbed my phone and ordered it, and here's the bottle that I got because of that sample too. This stuff is amazing, and it's very rare. And some of the notes, I haven't even really had much experience with. Like one of them is marigold, and then of course it has the usual suspects like oak moss and sage. But the combination of all of its notes together just make an awesome masculine spring fragrance, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. This is Boss Sport by Hugo Boss. All right, everyone, that'll wrap it up for me for my 10 fragrances for men for spring 2021. So, of course, as always, I would love to hear from all of you. What did you guys think of the video? What did you guys think of the list? Do you own any of these fragrances? Do you want to own any? What are you going to be wearing for springtime? Let me know in the comment section. I always appreciate all of the feedback. I love hearing from all of you guys. Make sure to subscribe, check out the Instagram page, all that good stuff. And I thank you all for the support, for watching, and for hanging out with me. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care.